YouTube, what is going on? Today we're going to be talking about some optimal team options when it comes to the likes of Himeko Nova. And a key part in this is that, hold on, let me go ahead and open up something else I just remember I need to do. A key aspect in this is that for Himeko, there are some different options that we need to take into account when it comes to team building, right? And the biggest one, in my opinion, is I already forgot where it's located, is still right here. Is it this one? Yes, it's this one. Is right here. Is the differences between the aspects of her kit, that being the Decimation and that being the Verdict when it comes to companion protocol. And luckily we do have some lovely people here on Reddit who have made information and posts about whether or not certain aspects of the kit are going to be very good. And we can see right here, this is a very good post to talk about when it comes to team compositions. Posted by the poster of this individual account, the Exciting Sweet 1064. Himeko has two different modes, Verdict and Decimation, which we've already gone over. Verdict is you're looking at about 100% ultimate crit damage boost to the ultimate itself, and for every 2 allies ultimate, and then energy regeneration, some energy after casting the assist skill. And Decimation is going to be a 80% crit damage bonus for all allies, while also providing an 80% crit damage skill for all allies. So boom, flat crit damage for everybody, and then crit damage for the skill. And it's also pointed out here that for Verdict you have either Sunday, the MC, or Donghong PT, and then for Decimation you have Welt, Original Himeko, and M7 or March 7th. Decimation is overall better because the damage is split between ultimate and skill, but Verdict only buffs her ultimate damage, which is, yes, you can see right here as it's highlighted. So keeping that in mind, we're going to go over like the possible options when it comes to ideal setups. And the key aspect here is that at E0 you need 2 Astral Express members, with Himeko counting as 1, which is very good. So you technically need only 1 other character to suffice that condition, and typically that is going to be Donghong PT. These two are kind of tied at the hip currently. Also keep in mind, this is all version 1 that I'm currently talking about. This obviously can change later down the road, and I'll make a video discussing that if it does. But at the moment, Himeko scales off of her own individual attack, so obviously Donghong PT is going to be very critical and viable because of his sustained capabilities with the shield, while also providing attack bonus. And then depending on what sets you are running on him, it can further boost the attack of one character. And something that's very important as we go over here to this overall generalistic team guide option, which I'm not going to go over entirely, but we have different various team archetypes and everything else in the like. But something that is very important that I think a lot of people should know and understand is that when talking about Himeko for Astral Express members, the biggest thing that is talked about is Welt, and more specifically when we get to E4. So what exactly does that mean? Well, when using skill, increase base chance of reducing attacked enemy target's speed by 34%, which is very nice. Actually, I don't think this is his. There we go. Now it's updated. Okay, I was about to say, like, that didn't make any sense. All right, so E4 is enemy targets in the lightness state have their all type res reduced by 30%. Also, given the fact that Himeko is going to be inherently raising her all type res pen by 20% for herself, is extremely good. And depending if you have the light cone, also you can also do more damage through enemies' defense. So that's another key aspect for Welt. Another key component when it comes to that as well, jumping back down over here, is that Welt suffices the Decimation. And keep in mind, that is going to be boosting just crit damage inherently for everybody on the team, not just Himeko's own ultimate, while also boosting Himeko's damage and skill and just everybody in general, right? So what exactly does that necessarily mean? Well, we have a Decimation and we have a Verdict at this current point. And the negative downside actively with Himiko's V1 is that she is not able to use both of them at the same time. What is going to end up happening is that you are going to be building up one or the other at a given point based on who's using their skill, who's using abilities, and who is going to be on either one, which if we jump back down here, currently at this current point with who I have Welt and I have Danhong PT. So we have a Verdict and we have a Decimation character. Now jumping back over to Himeko herself, we need to understand what the stipulations are for both. So let me just make sure I highlight this. When we have somebody who is the Verdict or Companion state, depending on the user, the extra assist triggered by the Companion protocol, Verdict or Decimation status can be triggered up to 2 times per combat, and the trigger count is refreshed after Himeko uses her ultimate. So that is very important to understand. And I believe it is in the traces that we can actually see which one is more important, right? Or how it's triggered. No, maybe it actually just is in the post inherently. Yeah, so again, like I said, they can't be stacked, and you can only switch between mode when you have to start all over again. So building up the crit damage for the ultimate with Verdict, whereas building up crit damage for Decimation, for everybody, you have to build them up gradually, and you can only reset them based on the ultimate. So saying that, right, we have 2 different options there, and then we also have Sunday on Verdict. So this is where honestly the team building aspect really comes into play, because of the fact that these are really your 3 other main options when you want to round out the team essentially for max pure damage capabilities. We could see here that RMC is definitely better than Sunday because Mem's attacks also provide stacks for Decimation mode, and RMC's ult attack does too. You want to avoid using the assist skill on an AE teammate that has the Verdict because it is overriding the Decimation mode unless you want to change it for purely ST encounter. So of course, if you want to be having the maximum Decimation, right, because it's going to be boosting up to a max of 80% crit damage for everybody's skill, everybody's ultimate, Himeko included, right? You're losing 20% for the Verdict on her ultimate, but keep in mind, Verdict is just for the ultimate, as we've previously discussed. So this could be, let me move these 2 down so it's a little easier to see. So this is what you could be seeing. You have somebody is going to be slowing everybody down, putting them in a state of they can't take an action, so that's key. You also have someone, especially at E4, ideally E4 is boosting everybody's all-type res pen by 30% in conjunction with Himeko already boosting her all-type res pen by 20%. So you're looking about a res pen 20 or 50% increase for Himeko herself. And because of this current team, you only have 1 person who is on Verdict. So if you don't really focus him on, too much and just use regular attacks, no skill, you obviously start the skill off to start the whole round and you just use your basic attack, or you want to use your skill right off the bat, then start gradually building up Decimation with both of these characters for Himeko to boost overall damage. Now on the flip side, right, you take Remembrance MC out and you put Sunday in. Now you have 2 characters for Verdict, right? But you have to keep in mind that you have somebody who is advanced action forwarding, you have somebody who is boosting energy for Himeko, you also have somebody who's providing a lot of crit damage bonus for Himeko. So overall, it's a lot of damage for the ultimate. But that said, it's just the ultimate. Everybody isn't benefiting too much. So what is an option you can do? Well, this is an option right here, as I previously mentioned. This is an option, as I have previously mentioned. Or you can go something even crazier and do this. So those are just the options. There's plenty of different compositions you could be running, but that is just overall what could be good and suffice. Obviously, M-Blade is not going to be, activating her protocol, but what is good is that he is providing a lot of damage bonus for Himeko herself.